So hi there everybody, welcome back to the channel for another episode of Pro Basketball Manager, our career save with AEK Athens. And we have made it to the business end of the season. We are in the Eurocup playoffs. We've got a quarter-final match coming up as our featured game in today's episode. But first, let's catch you up on quite a bit of action since our last game in the last episode, which was the cup final defeat, which you can see right at the top of the screen there. Now, unfortunately there we did of course miss out on a trophy, but then we just focused all our attention on making the playoffs in the domestic Greek Basketball League and the Eurocup as well. So let's take a look at the rest of our Eurocup season. First of all, we went to Poland to play Słupsk and lost. That was shortly after the cup final, so not a great period of the season for us there. Things got worse, you could say, worse against Wurzburg as we went down by 6 points. But then we bounced back big time as we played CSKA Moscow once again into the second half of the season. Quite an emphatic win this one by 11 points. We did then lose our next game to Buducnost, who you see we will be playing again today. But after that we went on a bit of a run, getting a 6-point victory over Varese. And then our biggest win of the campaign so far, going to Spain and beating Murcia by 4 points. That was followed by a 5-point win over Daytona. Massive performance in the first and the third quarters. Not sure what happened in the second. Now we would lose on the road in our next game at Bursa, but this was the big one, a 6-point victory over Vector, which qualified us for the playoffs. Yeah, and then we kind of took our foot off the gas, losing again to Słupsk and away to Wurzburg as well. So that meant ultimately in Group A we did finish 5th. Now the way this works is the top 2 in each group, because we got a Group B as well. The top 2 in each group go directly to the quarterfinals, but then 3rd through 6th they go into an extra play-in round. And that's where we got a nice little trip to Malaga and a solid win. It wasn't looking good for the first quarter and a half, but then we took over and we started to open quite a significant gap by the end, which brings us to today's rematch with Buducnost of Montenegro. I'll just quickly update you on the Greek Basketball League as well. We were more successful there than the Eurocup in terms of wins to losses ratio. Now we were top of the standings for quite a significant chunk of the season, but a couple of defeats towards the end saw us slip back to second. And we will now face Panathinaikos in a best of 3 series in the league playoff quarterfinals. But we're here for this one, for the Eurocup playoff quarterfinals. Now this is a single elimination game. If we win, we advance. The semi-finals, I think the final 4, I think that's where we get into a best of 3 series. And here's our lineup for the game. It's pretty standard, we're pretty settled on this lineup by now. So let's get out onto the court and start this match. Buducnost, nice little logo they've got there. We're going to trample all over it though as we go in pursuit of this victory. Like I said, this is big. We can get into, the final 4 here if we can get through this quarterfinal round. Now against Buducnost we did lose both of our games in our pool in Group A, so we're going to have to do something special to beat them here. Ooh, they've done something special to kick things off there, sinking that 3-pointer. So let's see, we've got to keep pace with them. We can't let them break away and start building up a bit of a gap. So a bit of back and forth here. We've got the basket. I think we're going to get the extra free throw here. Fantastic. Let's make this a 2-point lead from Hale. As usual, we're going to skip ahead and we'll come back at some key points in the match to keep you updated on the score. Okay, we're coming back in. Final play of this first quarter. Oh, we had the chance there. We were just a point behind. If we'd have scored there, we could have gone in with the lead. As it is, we're going to go in 3 points down at the end of this first quarter. We did have the lead in the first couple of minutes. Then Buducnost, they did establish quite a gap. They were 7 points out in front at one point. We've managed to close it down slightly though, so that's something at least. So we're going to make a couple of changes here. I think Kuzmanskis needs to come in for Gray. Gray's looking a bit tired. I had just made a couple of substitutions to play out that last minute and a half, and we did really close the gap down. So hopefully we can keep doing that now. It's only 3 points at the moment. Is it? It's going to be 5. They are lethal, Buducnost, with the 3-pointers. They've got a guy here, Right the Fourth. That's his name, or Right IV. He is lethal, just sinking those 4-pointers. Time after time of 4-pointers, 3-pointers, because he's got the 4th on his name. He's not on the court anymore. thankfully, but you can see they're back out 7 points ahead again. We really need to turn something around here. We'll check in later and see if we've been able to do it. Bringing you back in here for the end of the third quarter. It's not going well, as you can see. 13 points behind as some changes are made here. Only 30 seconds of the quarter left. We just had a period, a little spell in the middle of this particular block of play where we were just awful. 4 times in a row, 4 attacks in a row, we were just dispossessed, and they just sprinted straight down the other end and scored, and they just kept scoring more and more points, and this is where we are. 13 points gap. I very much doubt we can turn this round, but we'll try. Alright, we're back in for the final 3 minutes. We've just reduced the deficit to 5 points. This is the closest we've been to Buducnost in quite some time in this game. And of course, they immediately re-establish a 7-point lead. We've closed it down a couple of times. They've made a couple of errors. We keep pushing at them. We've just got to keep it going. I mean, can we do something in this final couple of minutes? If they make a mistake here and we can go up the other end... No, they don't. We can go to the other end and score. We just can't afford to miss a single chance here. We've got to make every play count. We're going for the 3-pointer. That's not the kind of thing we need to be doing. We've given them a chance now to go back into a 9-point lead, which, yeah, that's going to be very difficult to close down. Oh, they actually go into a 10-point lead with a 3-pointer there. Right, I'm going to have to call a timeout and see if we can just get everything back on track. We're getting a bit desperate now, I think, when we just need to be playing our game. Yeah, but we're just not able to sync them. This is the guy here. This is the guy that's been mental with the 3-pointers. Yeah, it's been tough to cope with. I'm not sure what we can do about that, but we're late in the game now. 10 points. I don't see a way to close this down. But yeah, let's just see what happens. You never know. These are crazy games. Anything can happen. Bryce on 4 fouls, so we probably want to take him out at this point as a precaution. We'll let Hale just rest up. We'll put him back on because he is a key player for us. Kuzmanskis, let's bring Antikumpo on as well in place of Slatviskis. That'll do. That's how we're going to finish this game, more or less, I think. Let's see. It's highly unlikely. We're going to have to focus on the Greek League, but at least we've had a run in Europe here as we got 12 points down. Yeah, it's definitely over now, even though we get the 2 points there. There's no way we're closing a 7-point gap in 70 seconds, is there? Here's this guy, right? He's been a menace all game. Yeah. Oh, this time it's not even him that gets the 3-pointer. There's a definite gulf in class here between us and our opponents. I have to say that much. But you know, you can't win them all. You can't win them all. Now, of course, this is a point where we need to start thinking: do I want to stay with AEK Athens and build up this team to the point where we can challenge for something like the Eurocup, or do we start to look at the end of this season, after we've had a go at defending our domestic playoff crown? Do we then go and have a look at what other jobs are available? We will take a quick look at that at the end of this match, so we'll see what happens there. But here we go, we're into the final couple of seconds. They go for the long one. Yeah, that's it. Quite a heavy defeat, and our Eurocup dream is unfortunately over. Yeah, confirmation there of the final score. Quarter 3, that was where we lost the game. It was close. We weren't too far behind in the first 2 quarters. We tied up the final quarter, but yeah, we were just beaten by a better opponent. They go on to face Bologna in the semi-finals. If you're wondering why there's a team here called Dubai, I did notice that myself. Apparently, a team from Dubai play in the Adriatic League with a bunch of former Yugoslav countries and so on, and in the game they've qualified for the Eurocup. So that might be an interesting save to do if you're looking for an idea for a Pro Basketball Manager save of your own. That might be one to check out. If I'd known about them earlier, we might have started our career with them. So, unfortunately, the Eurocup dream is over. We will now focus on these 3 games against Panathinaikos to see if we can reclaim our crown. Of course, we'll probably come back, assuming we can make the playoff final. We'll come back for that. If we look at the apply for jobs, all season it's been this one job in Dominica. Right, so here's their league. It hasn't got underway yet, and this is the team that is looking for a manager at the moment, but you can see they've only got 3 players, which, yeah, sounds a bit weird. Like, that would be a bit of a challenge, especially as the job's been vacant for so long. So we might wait for something else. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. See you for the next one.